Here we go.
Wow, that is awesome. That was a new voice. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us to talk about our conference today, which we are so excited about. I am Andrea Finn with Royal Credit Union, and more importantly, I am the chair on the MAC board. And welcome to our conference webinar. We have lots of new faces in here and lots of familiar faces in here, which we're so happy to see. Just a quick overview of what Marketing Association of Credit Unions is all about. We have been around since 1986. Yes, we are celebrating 40 years this year, which is awesome. We were created by marketers for marketers, and we love our open and collaborative environment to share ideas, network, and help each other accomplish our goals around marketing strategies and the credit union difference. There are so many benefits to our membership. A couple of those are free registration for MAC webinars, just like this one, discounted conference registration, along with discounted MAC award submissions. If you are not registered for the conference yet this year, hopefully this will be your final decision. And in doing that, the link is in our chat. And the other thing I wanted to share before we get into this webinar is we do have our April 21st webinar all ready to go. That is with Atmosphere TV, and it is reaching members beyond digital. So it is video strategies for credit unions. I'm also going to plop that into chat for everyone. Get registered for that on 2 weeks from today, Tuesday, April 21st. Otherwise, let's talk about the conference and share with you all the things to look forward to. So, Jared, I'm going to start sharing my screen and I'm going to kick it back over to you.
Yep, sounds great. And just by way of introduction, you guys, once again, I'm Jared, and I am the lucky guy that gets to be the MC for the big party and networking and learning event that is MAC. So I have worked with MAC since 2020 when we were doing digital conferences during the pandemic and then transitioned over into the live events. And y'all, I got to tell you, it's unbelievable. I host tons of corporate events every year, and MAC is the one that I sincerely look forward to because it's the one that feels the most like I'm going to see my extended family. It's like I'm going to see my cousins in Arkansas because we're just so close and so helpful, and it's a vibe that is unmatched and unrivaled in other corporate retreats and events that I work. So I'm always delighted to be the MC, and I'm looking forward to this one because when you get there, let's tell them a little bit more what they're going to find, Andrea. So, speakers and content unrivaled every year. I'm not even in the credit world marketing universe, and I learn things. That's how good the content is. And you'll be getting updates as new speakers are added and the content that they're going to be sharing. The exhibit hall and the sponsors, also a fantastic group of people, always ready to answer your questions. And if I may point out, it's some of the best swag that I've ever seen. And in fact, at last year's conference, I grabbed this coffee mug from a generous vendor in the exhibit hall. And look, it doesn't drip. It's the only one of these that actually doesn't drip. So the swag you get is actually the swag you use, which is pretty impressive. Now, the main thing that I love about it are the networking opportunities that I get to see everyone have. There's plenty of opportunities for learning, content, speakers, breakouts. But what's cool about it is the folks that plan this so lovingly for you on the MAC board, they make sure that there's ample opportunity for people to relax, kick back, get to talk with other folks, find out who may have the same struggles or successes that you are, so you all can share stories, share solutions. The venue and the experiences, it changes every year, and you're going to get to learn a little bit more about where we're going in moments. We also have the always anticipated awards night experience. Everybody gets dressed up. It feels like a beautiful night in Hollywood. Awards are given out, pictures are taken. It's unbelievable. And when we start off, you will get your invite to the kickoff party. And of course, in a moment, you're going to get to meet the MAC ambassadors, and we're going to talk about registration travel plans. So give them a little rundown of what's about to happen when we get there. Tell them about all this stuff.
All right, that's my cue. So my name is Meredith Olmstead. I am a MAC associate board member and also the CEO and founder of FIGO Solutions. Yes, I tried to get into a little bit of the spirit of the desert disco theme with my attire today, and I just wanted to go through a little bit about our speakers and content for for our conference this year. We've got some really great content in store for you all. I'm really excited about our keynotes this year. It's a mix of innovative marketing content, leadership stories, and communication strategies. We've really tried to do over the last couple of years, and we're doing that again this year, a mix of marketing and professional development. And I think we've gotten some great feedback that people are really liking that, like individual development kind of content as well as marketing content for your institutions. And so we're really leaning into that and continuing in that direction with our content. So if we go on to our next slide, you'll see our two main keynotes, one of which is giving two different keynotes. One is really powerful marketing content, and the other is more in the professional development side of things. That's Steph Sword Williams. She is really, really big, you guys. We're bringing her from London. She has got a huge internationally known, like around the world brand called Fuck Being Humble. I can say that, I think. And she's incredible. And so we are so excited about her coming. We had thought about bringing her a couple years ago, and she is able to come back to us this year. We are really, really, really over the moon about having her. So she's going to be with us this year. We also have Brent Dixon with us. He has experience with Filene and several other credit union industries, very, very experienced in our industry and with the credit union mission. And he's going to be talking about keeping the human in our marketing with AI and with everything going on with AI. And so I think he's going to be a really great credit union specific keynote. So if we go to the next slide, that has all of our keynote topics on it. The first one is really big picture, be brave, leave a legacy around marketing. The second one is really around that professional development side of things, around kind of how do we stand out as individuals and at work. And so that one is kind of like more of a master class of like promoting yourself, but doing it in a way that that doesn't make you feel like you're promoting yourself, but really is kind of how to kind of move up in your career and those kinds of things. It's going to be really, really good. Trust me, we're super excited about this content. And then becoming more human in an automated world. That's really where we're going to kind of, how are we going to make sure we keep these member stories and the real human side of what we do at credit unions front and center in our marketing and all the efforts we're doing. We are also developing a panel that's going to be coming together very nicely around AI and best practice for credit union marketing. And we're really excited about that. We had a lot of amazing breakout submissions around AI topics. We're going to bring together a bunch of different thought leaders on this topic to do a panel on that. So excited about how that's coming together. So those are going to be our big general sessions. And then we had so many amazing breakout sessions that we're actually not doing any repeats, where we have, I think it's 9 different sessions. So we have some incredible variety. So everything from digital campaigns to drive growth. We're talking about working sessions on member onboardings, marketing that feels like service, not selling. If you want to reach that younger audience, we're also going to be talking about how to build relationships with your local media from somebody who's used to be a reporter. So that's really great when you're trying to build like PR in your local audiences and your local media. So that's going to be a really great breakout session. So those are some of the first sessions. We also have another set of sessions around youth marketing and a community experience. messaging that resonates. And this is really based on some data from one of the big leagues out west that's coming to share some data around messaging for credit unions. And we also have a credit union led event, a credit union led session around budget and how you can recover budget through ads and better targeting, which we're really excited about that one. And then building better brands that inspire. So we have some really great content. We're really excited. We work really hard to have a lot of fun at Mac, and I know everybody knows that about Mac, and a lot of networking, really great relationships, and building relationships throughout the industry. But we also really work hard on our content. And so I'm excited about the quality of the breakouts that came in through our session submissions this year. We were it took us a while when we were at our retreat this year to pick all of our topics. And we still have a few that are kind of in the back as runners up. But I will tell you all, a lot of the sessions that we didn't select are going to be coming in as webinars. So we have a lot of great webinars coming up, either this summer or in the fall after, and then also on deck for 2027. So lots of great content coming virtually as well as for this event.
All right. Thank you, Meredith. We're super pumped about the content that we've got coming for you guys. Hi, I'm Hillary. I am the Director of Brand and Community Impact with Embold Credit Union, and I also serve as your MAC Vice Chair. I am on our conference committee, and I'm super pumped to get to talk to you guys about our exhibit hall and our sponsors today. So this is where I really think the fun starts, because all of this fun that we talk about and all of this great content cannot happen without our sponsors. So our partners, they come, they bring the tools, the energy, and the experiences that will help make MAC 2026 unforgettable. If you would go to the next slide, we can do a quick peek at what we've got so far for our exhibit hall. So just like normal, as you know, if you've been to a MAC event before, we don't like to have a separate trade show hall. We like everybody to be in the room together. That's how you build that great community. That's how we all have made so many MAC friends from, from different vendors and credit unions. And so we've got a sneak peek about who we've got so far in the hall. Now, if you're here from an exhibitor and you don't see your name on the list, that means you aren't registered yet, and you should reach out to me so I can help you get registered. I only have 4 booth spots left. So if you want to secure your spot, now is the time. Because I've got 4 spots left and I've got 3 people that I'm waiting to hear yes from. So you might be able to sneak in while those spots are open. So we've got some great opportunities. We've got a lot of folks who we know and love who are returning. And we've got some really awesome new first-time exhibitors too. So we're bringing you different tools from across the board, whether it's in-branch advertising, digital media, marketing automation, all of that. We've got a lot to help you make things at your credit union run. I do want to give a special shout out to some of our sponsors that we've got so far on our next slide, because really these folks are what make this possible. So I want to highlight a few. I know Aaron will be talking about it. Finalytics is a huge sponsor for us this year. We've got our friends at Strum. They're bringing the fun in multiple ways. Figro is helping us keep that mobile app that we all know and love. And then we've got so many people who are helping with our booth crawl, like Ravel, My First Nest Egg, Prisma, Marquee. We've got some folks that are hanging out for the booth crawl, having a great time. Also, if you attended MAC last year, you might remember that we had some special experiential things, like we had the blender bikes brought in during the booth crawl. We had headshots. This year, Ravel's bringing in a super fun interactive experience where everybody will get to work on something that you get to take home. It's custom. They're doing a really cool custom hat bar. So I'm super pumped about that. Thank you to Ravel for bringing that really great experience. Strum's bringing us a 360 photo booth for awards, just to name a few of the big ones. And big shout out to Pixel Spoke. Carol will get to talk about them later, about the kickoff party. But really, huge shout out to everybody on this list, because every logo you see, they're helping make these things happen for us. So while you're at Mac, if you walk around, if you're at the Pixel Spoke kickoff party or you're at the Finalytics Awards ceremony, if you see someone with that name, just tell them thank you because they helped make all of this happen. We could not do it without them. Awesome. And pass it off to Mary.
Hey everybody, I'm Mary, and in my day job, I'm at South Carolina Federal Credit Union over digital marketing. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about networking. So we're all there to learn, right? We're going to learn from all the awesome content. We're going to learn what some of the vendors have available for us, which is awesome. Can you still hear me, everybody? Yeah? Okay. Something went weird for me. But for me, one of my favorite things about this conference are the networking opportunities. I go to other conferences. This one is the best at providing networking opportunities and making it truly easy to make meaningful connections. So I just want to tell you, we're very intentional about designing the conference for that. And the size and the venue and the way they design the rooms is all designed so that you can make those meaningful connections. And I'll tell you, I've only been twice. Okay. I've only been twice. I went for the first time 2 years ago, didn't know a soul. And I mean, within hours, I had these people were inviting me to dinner. And then those people I realized were dealing with like the same, they were doing the same thing I was trying to build and that I was thinking about every day. And those people had the same vendor as me and were trying to get over the same hump that I was in learning a new vendor relationship and a new software that they had. And so I immediately plugged into all these resources that I still have today. And I walked away from the conference and we're calling each other. I'm in like two different groups still of just like, hey, can we share some ideas about this with people similar to me? And that hasn't happened to me in other places nearly as easily. And I'm an introvert, you guys. So just telling you, it really is easy to make meaningful connections at Mac. The number one piece of advice for you I have to do that is to show up and be there. There are going to be a lot of opportunities for networking, for these experiences that you're going to hear about. And I mean, the magic thing to do is show up. Show up, introduce yourself to people when you walk into a room. Try and make a mental note to yourself to introduce yourself to three different people. Sit at a different table at the coffee break, at breakfast, at lunch, whatever, and you will meet other people. Remember, everybody there is just like you. They're there for the same reason. They're dealing with the same things that you are. They're passionate just like you are. They have the same challenges, and we can all lift each other up. So do not sleep on the Wahova app. It's awesome. We're going to roll that out as we get closer to the conference to hear more about that. But it is a great way to make some connections and keep those going. So last year, I remember people were making plans on the app to play volleyball. And the year before, I just randomly joined a group of people who were like, hey, does anybody else want to do this? And I went on like a bus tour in Hollywood to see famous houses. It was so fun and I made connections. So there are going to be great ways to do that. I know people are talking about doing morning hikes in Scottsdale. There's going to be start one yourself. Hey, does anybody else want to do XYZ? There are a lot of opportunities through the app to easily connect with people, see who they are. So take advantage of that. Also, a great place to make a note after you meet people because you're going to meet so many people to remember who they were, what it is you might want to follow up with them about, and of course, connect with them on LinkedIn. So, lots of opportunities to network. The number one thing to remember is to actually do it. Don't stay in your room. Go on down for the cocktail hour early. Meet people. Yeah. All right. I'm going to toss it back to you, Andrea, to talk more about the venue and all the experiences, including the cool networking experiences.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mary. Great insights. So I am here to talk about the venue and experiences, and I want to tell you to get ready for the time of your life. We are at the JW Marriott Camelback Inn Resort and Spa. And this is not your typical conference. Like you've heard already, you're going to keep hearing throughout this webinar. This venue sets the mood. When Meredith, Hillary, and I were there last year for planning and looked at a whole bunch of Scottsdale resorts, we're like, this is it. This is the place. It's really sets the mood. It gives you that we're right next to the Camelback. Mary talked about hiking. There is going to be opportunities. It's giving you resort vibes that makes learning and connecting feel effortless. And you will not see a high-rise hotel here. There are pickleball courts, tennis courts, 2 different pool areas, hiking right off of some of our rooms. So at the top of the resort, there is yoga opportunities, golf opportunities, so many fun activities that this resort has to offer. I mentioned the pool area. There will be breaks throughout the conference to enjoy all that there is to offer here. And we will have a special pool networking time as well, right here. This venue is built for real networking. So here is actually a snip of the conference area, which is when you get to the venue, it is right off from the lobby area to your right. This is designed for conversations, collaboration, and community. And it's going to be awesome. And the after party this year is off-site, and it is at the Wasted Grain. This is where the desert's going to meet the dance floor. And after the award ceremony, like Erin's going to talk about next, we'll be heading over to the Wasted Grain. We'll have transportation there. And yeah, all great stuff. We're going to have strong credit union community vibe. Where, like you said, Mary said, you'll create lasting professional connections. Okay, passing the baton over to you, Erin.
Thank you. Andrea's not lying. The views are 10 out of 10. You will find yourself just staring. It's picturesque, beautiful. Yeah, so my name is Erin McKasick. I am the VP of Marketing at BCU, and I get to focus on awards here on the MAC board. So before we really get into it, I wanted to give a huge thanks to our sponsor, Finalytics. They focus on helping credit union marketers delivering kind of the personalization that everyone seeks to achieve around real-time, one-to-one digital experiences that really deepen relationships and engagement and drive growth. So please check them out at finalytics.ai. That's a brief infomercial on Finalytics. Okay, so awards night is, in my opinion, the perfect way to wrap an action-packed conference with some well-earned recognition for standout marketing. We know that it's extremely well-deserved. So here's what to expect with the night of the awards. Dress-wise, dress comfortably. It's cocktail attire. It's really a chance to, there's a lot of photo opportunities, so keep that in mind. But actually, in general, for the entire conference, please bring comfortable shoes. And just keep in mind that there's various terrains, like there could be some pebbles that you're walking on. So just make sure that first and foremost, you're comfortable and expect, a bit of the dry heat. But also for the awards night, dress to impress as well, because there will be a lot of photo opportunities. So we kick things off with a happy hour, which is really a chance to connect and toast with peers and people that you just met through all of that great networking. We enjoy a plated multi-course dinner, and during that dinner, we're unveiling the winners. Jared is doing his thing and making sure that everyone feels recognized. We're going to talk a little bit more about the awards in a moment, but after the dinner, that's when we'll take a bus to Wasted Grain, which, like Andrea said, is a great spot in Old Town Scottsdale. They'll have live music. There'll be an open air bar. They have a great patio with kind of the strong lights where we'll be able to, listen to music and play games and things. It'll just be a great end cap to a really fun night. If you want to go on the next slide. So this year's awards program wrapped just recently. We're about a week into the judging period, which runs through the end of the month. So winners are going to be selected mid-May, and at that time we'll reach out to the winners. So similar to years past, we will send an email to those who have won. You won't know how many awards, you won't know which or which categories or anything like that, but you'll know that you were a winner. And we do plan on creating even more transparency and visibility this year by posting the winning credit unions on the MAC site, which, by the way, we just launched our new site. So please check that out as well. But we will post a list of those winning credit union, winning credit unions on the website around the same time. But we had great participation when it comes to submissions. It was a new record for us. There were about 550 entries from over 115 credit unions and agencies. So we'll be giving out over 200 awards at this conference. During the awards presentation, if you're accepting an award on behalf of your credit union, you'll just walk to the front, you're going to collect your trophy. You can either take it home with you in your luggage, or you will have the option to purchase shipping from the hotel. They have a FedEx that you can utilize. And then regarding the Mackey, that's our best in show, which honors the standout submission of the year. So earlier in the day, there'll be a handful of nominees or finalists that will present their campaigns, and all of you will get to vote on that winner. So at the end of the awards night, we announce who that winner is. We reveal who they are, and we hand out those trophies, which are always special and tailored to the theme of the conference. And then we do have awesome photography too. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to take photos with your trophies. I know everyone looks forward to bringing those photos and trophies back to share the news with their credit union, share on social media, whatever you want to do to make a big splash out of that recognition. And that's pretty much how the night will go. Again, shout out to Finalytics. Without them, the awards and incredible night would not be possible. Yeah, it's just going to be a really memorable night, and one that you definitely don't want to miss. So I think we're actually going to back things up and talk about the kickoff party now.
All right. Um, Thanks for joining, y'all. I'm Carola. I've been on the Mac board for about 6 years now, and I'm also a director of marketing and impact at Pixel Spoke. We have really enjoyed hosting the kickoff party at Mac for the past few years. If you want to go to the next slide. Um, our kickoff parties are really fun. I go to a lot of conferences, and I just have to say that one thing that I enjoy about the MAC conference is we're really intentional about immersing attendees in like the spirit and the vibe of the region where we're holding the conference. So for those of you who were able to make the conference last year, I'm sure you remember our yacht party kickoff. It was a lot of fun. We got to explore the waterways of Fort Lauderdale, saw some pretty impressive real estate along the way. I think a lot of us were looking at things on Zillow. So this year we are ditching the captain's caps and we're putting on our cowboy hats. I see Meredith already has hers on, which is awesome. And we are going to meet you at the saloon. Let's go to the next slide. So this kickoff party, this is on site at the resort where we'll all be staying. It's an area called Mummy Mountain, really fun. The theme obviously is Wild Wild West. You can run with that as much as you'd like. And the event will be outside, but don't worry, it'll be in the evening. Hopefully after the sun is at least setting and it'll be a little cooler. You can kind of see the ground in the photo here, so we recommend practical shoes. Cowboy boots are encouraged but not required. And there will be beer burros, which I did not know were a thing until recently, but they will be delivering beer to all party attendees, and they are sponsored by our good friends at Strum. So going to be a really good time and really fun way to kick off the conference.
All right. I guess that's me. Hi, I'm Kristen, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Allegiance Credit Union, and I am the MAC Board Secretary. I've been on the MAC Board for about 2 years now, and I just wanted to talk about our ambassador program really quick. If you can go to the next slide. There we go. So we just introduced this last year, and it's still been, a learning experience. We just really, I think most people know, but in case you don't, MAC is the board. We're all volunteers. We all work at credit unions or vendor partners, and we all have full-time jobs. And so, we can use all the help we can get. And so we thought, there's a lot of people who have been helpful to MAC and maybe aren't a board member at this present time, but maybe have interest to be in the future and all that kind of stuff. So we started this ambassador program last year to help MAC and help, people who maybe want to be on the board in the future and things like that. So really the responsibilities is to share the MAC love. Like we really ask that you invite your colleagues to the conference, that you share our post on LinkedIn, you comment, you like them. I mean, most of us being marketers, you probably know that engagement with social media is crucial for those messages to be seen. So just really talking up Mac and sharing your experience with those in your local network and just, your professional network on LinkedIn. And then a huge key component of being an ambassador is to support the MAC Awards by being a judge. And so, as Erin mentioned, we're in the judging process. So, all of our MAC ambassadors help judge, they help recruit other judges. Because, like she said, we have over 500 entries this year, and we were able to recruit about 65-ish judges, and there's only what 10 or 11 of us on the board, nine of us somewhere in there. I should know that number off the top of my head, but there's no way we could do this on our own. It would be impossible. So big requirements of the ambassadors is to, come to the conference, to share about MAC and our webinars and engage with our social media, and then to judge the awards and recruit judges. And then next. And so what's in it for them? We, brought for those that were maybe there last year, you saw that we brought them on stage one day to introduce them, and just they're really another resource. Like if you want to give your feedback on something that you experience at the conference, you can always find a board member or you can find an ambassador. And ask them or give your feedback to them. But they get exclusive recognition at the conference. We also did a kickoff lunch with just the board and the ambassadors right before the first keynote. And then it's just really an opportunity for you to, kind of grow your leadership potential. We have to all run for the board. And, as some people decide to roll off and, they've done their time with MAC, when those new spots become available, I mean, obviously, nobody's guaranteed a spot. It's completely voted on by our members. But if you're an ambassador and you've been, helping out and meeting people at the conference and stuff like that, it doesn't hurt to, network and get that out there if you ever do have, future aspirations of being on the board. And then just helps you, expand your network. You get that moment to go on stage and people see you and get a little bit more recognition. And just kind of getting news. We'll share news with ambassadors before we necessarily share it, in the public email out to all of our members. And then next, don't take my word for it. Let's hear from them. We do have a few on here. I think Elliot and Lindsay, Stephen, James, Melissa. I apologize if somebody else joined on. I didn't see. If you guys want to just take a second to come off and just tell everybody about why you like Mac, why you got involved in Mac, what you liked about just anything. Nothing, it doesn't have to be formal. Just kind of love to hear your experience with Mac and, why you keep coming back or that you're invested in this.
Hi, I'll go first. I am Lindsay Zielinski, Senior Digital Media Manager at BCU. And last year I attended the MAC conference for the very first time. And my biggest takeaway was how many great credit union marketers I was able to meet. Really, the networking opportunity was the biggest thing for me. There was a huge variety of sessions, and I was actually able to take things back to the office and brainstorm with my team and implement some things, which was great. Um, I also have to shout out the social events. Those were so fun. Like the booth crawl, I got on a margarita bike. It was great to meet the vendors. And then the yacht ride, the boat ride, the kickoff party was awesome. So the conference overall, if you haven't been before, I encourage you to register. And I think you'll be really happy that you did. And I just left inspired and motivated to do more, which is why I decided to become a brand ambassador. So,
Hi everybody, I'm Melissa. I this is my second year as an ambassador as part of the program. And I was really interested initially after attending MAC for a few years, and just like everyone else is kind of saying, like, this is my jam, right? This is the conference I look forward to. This is the group of people that I have a good time with, and that it's valuable for me from a networking perspective as well as for the company that I work for. And I was interested in running for the board or being a part of the board, but I wasn't really ready to kind of dive right in. So this was a great opportunity for me to kind of get my feet wet and to really meet some new people and to get an idea of what really goes into these conferences. You know, we all as attendees go and everything is shiny and lovely and runs so smoothly, but there's so much that goes into this, and so many people that work so incredibly hard. And being part of the ambassador group and even helping with a couple extra things this year gave me just some additional insight as to making sure that a board spot is something that I would like to do in the future. And it's really nice to be able to, not only from, like I said, the networking perspective, but all of these wonderful things happen, these events, these awards. And to be a part of it, it's a special thing because it's a special group of people. You can see the board's camaraderie and their friendship, and that kind of trickles down to the other people there. And it's kind of infectious, and it's just a really nice group to be a part of.
I'm
Hey
Steven.
everyone.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead, Steve.
Nope,
No, no, no. You go right ahead.
doesn't matter. I know
All
this
right.
guy from Mac,
There
right?
you go. Exactly.
I don't
Um,
know that I'm actually going to say anything different than what anyone else has already said, but I mean, really, it is the connections that you're able to make there. From my very first time was in Chicago, I met Colleen, who's on this call there. We always send messages back and forth if something comes up. Uh, Nashville, I met Simeon there, who I just got an email from yesterday asking, how would you handle this? Or do you have any insight on how, you guys work with this? So, I mean, aside from the great content and the great events, that's my key takeaway is really just those networking connections that you're able to make. And, 4 or 5 years later, we still have them and we're still, bouncing ideas off each other. And now I'll let James go
yeah.
because, yeah.
No, I mean just mirroring that or that sentiment is kind of what it's all about. I'll tell you what, when the first Mac I went to was when we were in LA, and I realized these were my people when it was like 2:30 in the morning and there was still a quarter of the conference at the hotel bar. So get ready. We like to party. But no, it really is about the relationships you build. I'll say this about Mac. So this will be the third year. It is the most well organized credit union conference that I've ever been to. It just every year, over and over again, really great job. Vendors are treated incredibly well. And I think everyone leaves the conference experiencing something that's kind of been set up for them. That's kind of a really, really great, part of what Mac does is it puts people in a situation where you want to talk to people, you want to be able to learn more about who people are, where they come from, what they're doing, and it's just because you're everyone's collectively in those situations, whether it's a boat cruise or doing the tours through Hollywood, things like that. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of great experiences, great speakers. I think at the end of the day, again, though, it's really about the organization. Everything's really well done. So, and that's why I was like, hey, you know what? Let's be an ambassador. Let's keep the party going.
I can bring us home if that's helpful for you, Kristen.
Yeah.
Elliot Larson. I'm based here in Baltimore with the Blast Point organization. I'm actually growing my afro out for the disco, so stay tuned for September. So get excited about that. It's going to be a lot longer, I hope. So no, but last year was my first opportunity to attend MAC, and it was just incredible. I've been to a lot of conferences, and I hope it's okay saying this, but it didn't feel like a conference, as silly as that sounds. And so I think that's really a testament to the team and really the work that goes on behind the scenes in terms of building the networking events, the speakers, the sessions, and really just being able to build your friend group, if you will. And so it was really exciting for me to be able to have the opportunity to be an ambassador and really help from the behind the scenes perspective, but also be a part of the opportunity to continue to network and build the brand, if you will, as well. So super excited to get out to Scottsdale.
Thank you guys so
Allie.
much. Yeah, as I say, I think that's everyone that's on the call. So yeah, we really, really appreciate our ambassadors. And, we just started this about this time last year, so it's brand new. They're helping us kind of figure out what it looks like along the way. And we just appreciate all of their help and support. So thank you guys.
Yes, thank you all so much. I'm going to share my screen for the last slide here to wrap things up. So lastly, registration and travel plans. So the link to registration is still in the chat. So if you haven't registered yet, please register. Again, this year, that was new last year, we do have the all-in special event guest pass for $699, which is a steal. This is if you have, a spouse, aunt, a mom, a dad, whoever in the industry that you want to bring with. This is an all-in guest pass. This does include the awards dinner, along with all the other things that the conference has to offer. A link to the hotel bookings. So this is actually not a link. Hillary, Meredith, Erin, Kristen, Mary, if one of you guys can grab the link to the hotel bookings and stick that into chat for me, I would appreciate it. This is extremely important every year, but even more important this year. And that is because this, as you guys saw in my photos, the venue is not a high-rise hotel. There is a limited amount of rooms that are available. And you do not want to be at the hotel 10-minute Uber ride down the road. There isn't a hotel across the street like there is in big cities. This is truly like in the heart of the Camelback Mountain, and you want to be at this hotel. So it's really important to book your hotel as soon as you can. Do not wait until the last minute. Overflow hotel registration is going to be much harder than it has been any other year. There is also the ability to add a day or two or the weekend before the conference, not afterwards, because afterwards there is another event going on that it's already booked for the weekend after. But for the weekend before, there is an opportunity to add a couple of days before the conference. Airports, you're going to be flying into Phoenix. And then for tools and resources. So we also started this last year where we have an email template that you can share with your leader. If you're like, I really want to go to this, but I don't know how to bring it up, we have a great template for you to use that you can send to them and say, hey, here's why I need to go to this. So any questions?
We had some questions that got popped in the chat that got answered, so thank y'all for popping those in there. But if anybody else has any, you can feel free to unmute yourself or pop them in the chat, and we'll have one of our MAC board members answer your question for you. But I think I do just want some clarification, because Elliot, if I'm growing out an afro for disco in the desert, I got started about 8 years ago, so I think I'll make it if I concentrate very hard. So
Yep. Yeah. No, I'll start growing that beard too. I'm on week 12 of not shaving, so I'm really excited about it. So it's going to be looking good.
Look amazing. It is on. Let's go. I love it. Anybody else have any questions? I mean, I think it's going to be amazing, y'all. We have our keynote speaker from England that's going to come curse at everybody. It's going to be amazing. I mean, what more can you ask for? They just drop bombs like it's nothing. It's going to be fantastic. And I've hosted at this event before, and it really is an oasis. So, you know, you can see from the pictures, you're tucked in there, and it is just going to all be about Mac. So it's going to be awesome. Andrea, any final words if folks don't have any questions?
No, we're all good. Thank you all for joining.
Sign up, hit that registration link. And you know what? If you want me to call your leadership for you, get on a conference call. Forget about it. Just ask. I'll do it. I'll talk them. We'll make it happen. I'm there for you. See y'all there.
Awesome. Thank you all. Have a great day. See you in Arizona.
Yeah.